Formula One is on the brink of a significant transformation, with Andretti Cadillac's entry securing FIA approval. But as they say, it's not done until the ink is dry. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem spilled the beans earlier, revealing that unnamed figures within Formula One have been pushing for General Motors to acquire an existing team, attempting to influence Andretti Cadillac's journey. However, he emphasised that brokering such deals is not his role. The opposition from existing F1 teams largely boils down to financial concerns. To be distributed among the existing teams, the current anti-dilution fee of $200 million is perceived as inadequate, but the potential workaround for this fee involves Andretti Cadillac buying an existing team, a route previously explored with Sauber and Alfa Romeo. Now, the intriguing part is that the FIA has already given Andretti Cadillac the green light, and bin Sulayem warned that saying no to an FIA-approved team is no walk in the park. He believes F1 should be actively inviting original equipment manufacturers like GM to join the grid. Bin Sulayem said the FIA should be asking, begging OEMs to come in, he insisted. We should not just say no to them. He highlighted the desire for F1 to have 12 teams as permitted by the rules, emphasising that the number of races is less of a concern than the number of teams. We need more teams and fewer races, he stated. But there's another argument against an 11th team, the circuit's capacity to accommodate them. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko raised concerns about whether most circuits can handle an additional team. Bin Sulayem, however, countered this argument by pointing out that an 11th team is already in play for the filming of a Lewis Hamilton-related film. Check out our video on how Brad Pitt rubbed shoulders during the Silverstone Grand Prix. What's evident here is that the FIA is enthusiastic about expanding the grid and welcoming Andretti Cadillac into the fold. However, Formula One management, led by figures like CEO Stefano Domenicali and Greg Maffei, has been lukewarm about the idea of a larger grid. The existing teams, while not officially involved in the decision-making process, are understandably concerned, particularly from a financial perspective. The coming months will be pivotal in shaping F1's future. F1 will now engage in evaluations and considerations with Andretti, and with all parties making their views clear, it's shaping up to be a political battle. If F1 rejects Andretti's bid, it's unlikely to go unnoticed, with potential outcry from fans and even the possibility of legal action. This could also strain the relationship between the FIA and F1, which has shown signs of tension in recent years. Despite bin Sulayem's optimism, F1 and the teams don't seem to share the same enthusiasm for Andretti's entry. The final decision on Andretti's fate will have far-reaching consequences, and it's bound to be a slow and noisy process, no matter the outcome. So why are the existing Formula One teams sceptical about Andretti's entry into the sport? Well, it all comes down to the green. All Formula One teams heavily rely on the prize money revenue from F1 to support their racing operations, meaning if Andretti were to join, this revenue pool would be split between 11 teams instead of the current 10. The fear among the teams is that the financial hit from this division could lead to instability. The team principal of Williams, James Vowles, strongly expressed their stance against the addition of an 11th team. Williams, a team that has faced financial challenges in recent years, is not alone in its concerns. Williams is against the addition of an 11th team and very strongly against it, said team principal James Vowles. Vowles also mentioned that approximately half the grid is not financially stable. The crux of the issue lies in the anti-dilution fee of $200 million, which new entrants must pay. Existing teams would like to see this fee tripled under the next Concord Agreement in 2026. The $200 million fee was set before F1's recent commercial boom, which significantly increased the sport's value. For instance, Williams was sold to Doralton Capital in 2020 for $200 million. However, when Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's group, along with a handful of celebrities including two-time former unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua and actor Michael B. Jordan, among others, acquired a stake in Alpine earlier this year, the team was valued at around $900 million. The existing teams want recognition for their long-term commitment to F1 and their substantial investments into the sport. They believe that allowing Andretti to enter the grid for $200 million and immediately have an asset potentially worth close to $1 billion is unjust. Fred Vasseur, Ferrari's team principal, emphasised the collective effort made by all teams on the grid. He pointed out that, just a few years ago, nearly half the grid was on the brink of bankruptcy. Vasseur urged against arrogance and stressed the need to consider the challenges that teams have overcome. Here's what he said: "We have to keep in mind that 3 to 4 years ago, we had almost half the grid quite close to bankruptcy. We have to avoid being arrogant." Red Bull team principal Christian Horner weighed in, suggesting that the potential introduction of an 11th team is primarily about money. He implied that the financial aspect is a key driver behind the discussion and advised seeking answers from Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali. Horner said, "It's all about money and it's very political." Aston Martin boss Lawrence Stroll also firmly believed that Formula One does not need an 11th team. He stated that the sport is flourishing with 10 teams and should stay that way. Here's what he said: "I'm a strong believer that it's working really well with 10 teams right now, and I believe that's the way it should stay." Helmut Marko, a Red Bull advisor, has also raised additional concerns about the logistical challenges of accommodating an 11th team. He pointed out that most racetracks are already at maximum capacity in terms of space, which would pose challenges in expanding the grid. He said, "Most racetracks are maxed out in terms of space. Where are you supposed to put an additional team in the already very narrow pit lanes? In the paddock, you would probably have to reduce the size of the hospital, but the teams are not interested in that." So, while the debate over Andretti's entry into Formula One continues, existing teams are holding their ground, raising concerns about the financial impact and logistical challenges this expansion could bring. As the existing Formula One teams have been cautious about the potential addition of Andretti's team to the grid, the drivers, including world champions Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, have expressed a more open attitude towards this development. Lewis Hamilton was notably more supportive of a new entrant and additional cars. He mentioned, "I've always felt there weren't enough cars on the grid. There definitely will be people who won't be happy for me to be so supportive of it, but I think it's great. It's an opportunity for more jobs, with another 2 seats available for a potential female driver to come through. It opens up more possibilities, and I think it would be exciting." Max Verstappen, who already secured his 3rd world title, acknowledged his team's position, but looked at the situation from a driver's perspective. He commented, "Everything I've seen so far, plus the partners they have and the name, they have shown that they are a professional team. So it would be, I think, nice, because it gives more opportunities for the driver's side." Andretti Global had announced a partnership with General Motors' Cadillac brand to form a US-owned team with at least one American driver. The proposed entry would involve paying a $200 million entry fee, which would be shared among the existing 10 teams as compensation, but teams argue that this is insufficient given current valuations. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen's support for the potential addition of Andretti's team reflects a broader perspective from the driver's side. However, the ultimate decision will rest with the FIA and Liberty Media-owned F1, and it's anticipated that they won't make a hasty decision. As we navigate the twists and turns of the Formula One world, the potential addition of Andretti Cadillac as the 11th team has certainly injected a fresh wave of excitement. The FIA has approved, but the road ahead is far from a straightaway. While the teams express their concerns about the financial aspects, the drivers, including Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, are more open to the idea. Their support adds a layer of anticipation and intrigue to the ongoing saga. As discussions continue and the decision-making process unfolds, there's one thing we can be sure of. This journey promises to add some more drama to an already dramatic sport. And as the debates continue, we can expect a thorough evaluation before reaching a final verdict. The future of Formula One is being redefined, and we're here to bring you the latest updates, insights, and all the action on and off the track. If you're as passionate about F1 as we are, hit that subscribe button to stay in the fast lane of Formula One news and analysis. And don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow F1 fans. We'll see you in the next video right here at F1 Sparks. Until then, keep your engines revving.